Hey, what's up YouTube? Donovan the Smartphone Guy here to do my first impressions of the Blu Life Max. So this is a phone that I've had in hand for about 48 hours and probably a phone that's under the radar for a lot of people. And let's just talk about the selling point. So first of all, this is a budget-friendly device. The full retail price of the phone is $125. It's available on places like Amazon, and actually I picked it up at bestbuy.com during the pre-order sale. The pre-order sale, it was available for, oops, let's get rid of that. All right, well, I can't get rid of that. But the pre-order sale, it was available for $80 at bestbuy.com. But now the regular price, anywhere you're going to get it, is $125. So I definitely think that if you can pick it up for $100, probably a good deal. At $125, well, that's kind of up to you. So let's talk about what's good and what's not so good about the phone. So first of all, let's talk about specs. So on the back, of course, like Blu always does, they got the specs on the back of the phone, or back of the box. So we got a 5.5-inch HD display that is 720p, so pushing 720 pixels. Really 1080 by 720. So we got a quad-core 1.3 gigahertz processor. That 1.3 gigahertz processor is the MediaTek 6737, similar to other budget-friendly devices that you're going to get. And we'll talk about some Geekbench scores and things like that. 2 gigs of RAM on board. We got 8 megapixel camera on the back. Fingerprint sensor, as I mentioned earlier, so there it is. And we got that 5 megapixel selfie camera, and it does actually have a front-facing flash as well, so that's kind of cool. 4G LTE, this is GSM unlocked, so it will work with T-Mobile, Cricket, AT&T, Net 10, all those guys. It does have support for band 12 and band 17, so two of the more common bands in terms of T-Mobile and AT&T. It is running Android 6.0 out of the box, not Android 6.0.1, and you're probably never going to get anything other than that because it's a budget-friendly Blu device, and they typically don't update their phones, especially the budget-friendly ones like this. So let's go ahead and I'll show you what you get in the box. So you get a wall adapter. So that's what this guy is. And actually, why don't we take a look at that real quick just to see what kind of speed we're going to get out of this thing. Alright, so I don't know if we can see that. So it's a 1.5 amp adapter. So I was using that adapter actually, and I was getting actually with the Ampere app where you can find out what kind of charging speed you're getting. It was getting 1500 milliamp hours is the charging speed I was getting, so that's definitely accurate. It does come with some headphones like Blu always does, so if you ever tried those, they're okay. They're not great. Micro USB cable for charging it. We got some quick guides, some information about dual SIM. It does also come with a plastic, there we go, a TPU case, so a nice thin plastic TPU case, and then also a plastic screen protector as well. So everything you really need for the phone is available right there. You don't really need to go out and buy any extra accessories for it because, well, unless you want like tempered glass maybe, but yeah, it comes with everything you need, and it's only 125 bucks, so not too shabby. It does have dual flash in the back. I don't know if you guys can see that. 8 megapixel camera, we already mentioned. Fingerprint sensor, we'll talk about that in a little bit. On the bottom, we got our speaker and microphone. I actually said that backwards. That's the microphone and the speaker. On this side, nothing at all. On the top, this is kind of weird, but micro USB for charging it is actually on the top of the phone, and the headphone jack on the top as well, and then our power and volume rocker on the sides, and they are very clicky, power and volume rocker. So I'm going to go ahead and take this removable back off. So in terms of feel in the hand, this is kind of cool. It's almost like if you remember the Note 4, this has a very similar leather-like feel to it and leather-like look as well. So of course we got our Blu branding on the back as well. So yeah, let's jump into pulling that bad boy off. There we go. All right, so this is a massive 3700 milliamp hour battery, which I think this is probably the biggest selling point of this phone. The fact that it is a 3700 milliamp hour battery. It does have dual SIM slots as well. Now these are micro SIM, so not nano SIM. Most phones right now have nano SIM. This one is micro SIM, so both of them are. And then we have our micro SD expansion slot there. And I actually don't know. Let me just take a look here real quick, see if I can find what kind of card that's able to take. So it says up to 64 gig is what they actually have on their website. So I'm not sure if you can go any larger than that, but according to their website, that's what you get. Now, one thing you'll notice right away, I actually cleaned this right before the video. So in just the time that I've been using, just holding on to it and everything, that thing is a fingerprint magnet. Of course, you're probably going to put that screen protector on it, but who knows if that's any better, because I haven't put that on there yet. But man, this screen is just a absolute fingerprint magnet. That's one thing I noticed about it right away. So let's go ahead and take a look at, so this is the ZTE Grand X4, roughly in the same price category. I'm going to go ahead and this one also has a rear firing fingerprint sensor, if that's not firing, but let's go ahead and just do a quick comparison. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, there it goes. Okay. I actually missed the fingerprint sensor, so that was not the phone's fault. All right, let's do that one more time. 1, 2, 3. Just to kind of see. Okay, so the blue is a little bit faster. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that time the ZTE Grand X4 was faster. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it looks like the ZTE Grand X4 is a little bit faster. They're both very accurate, though, in my usage so far. It's not a fast fingerprint sensor by any means, but it's also, I mean, this is a budget phone we're talking about here. But I do want to show you one thing real quick, and this is something I was comparing just kind of as I was, trying to make the comparison between these two phones. So I'm going to go into Zedge and look at some HD wallpapers. I don't know if you can tell this, but from this, but this has a much brighter white screen. This one has a very soft, cool screen, and notice that the whites aren't very bright. The whites are almost like a brownish, tannish, yellowish color. So just not a very clear white screen. And that's true of any whites. So notice like that bird, for instance, is a white bird, but so if I look at it on here, it's pretty bright white. But when you look at it on here, it's almost got like a yellowish tint to it. So in terms of screen quality, I guess I would say that's maybe just a small complaint. We're talking about a phone that's only $125, and you get a nice big battery in that. So, it's the price you pay for a phone that is budget friendly. So let's talk about the software. So the software is very, so you can see I have the screen brightness all the way up. Actually, that's actually true of this phone as well. I had that screen brightness all the way up. This is a very stock feel in terms of the phone. So if you remember the Blue R1 HD, basically the exact same setup that you had on that phone. And I had that one, and that phone ran fairly well. One thing I will say in terms of usage so far, the performance isn't bad. The one area that I think you're really going to run into issues is when you're trying to use games like even Hill Climb 2 didn't go real, it just didn't perform real smoothly on this phone. So let's see if I can get it to show you. Let's go ahead and do this real quick. And I noticed, like, that's another thing. The screen, I don't know, this is weird, but let's see if it'll do it again for me as I'm playing this game. But for me, the screen just wasn't always very, it just didn't respond all the time. So I don't know, that's like, I don't know, to me, that's a deal breaker. See, like that right there? See, notice I'm still pushing it, but it all of a sudden let go of that button. I don't know, it happened to me multiple times with this phone where I'm still pushing the button down, and it like right, I don't know, like right here in the screen. It's weird. For me, that's kind of a deal breaker. I don't know for you, but it's weird. I've never experienced that on any recent phone where all of a sudden the touchscreen just kind of became unresponsive. Let's see if he'll do it again. You guys are watching me play Hill Climb Racer 2, whatever this game's called. It's a fun game, by the way. It's an amazing time waster. You should really check it out. And I got second place. See, I don't like this phone, because on this phone I would have got first place, and on this phone I would have got first place. I blame the phone. No, I'm just kidding. So anyways, just something that I noticed. If it, as I go through using the phone a little bit more, I'll kind of report back on that. But for now, that's kind of sketchy for me. As far as the cameras go, I will say right off the bat, if you're in good lighting, the camera's just fine. It's very similar. I mean, if you're used to a blue phone, you kind of know that you're not expecting to get the world's best cameras by any means. And that's another thing. I don't know. You go in the gallery, what the heck? I can't go back to old phones, or old pictures. So if you want to see old pictures, typically you could just scroll through there and see some of the pictures that you took. But in here, I have to actually go into the gallery or go into Google Photos, which is kind of weird. But so there's some other pictures I took with this. So picture of a coffee mug. I can't find that coffee mug right now. So my mouse. There's another picture of it. But I mean, in decent light, you're gonna get good pictures. There's the front firing. That's ugly. This is the front. That was the front firing camera, which actually isn't too bad. That front firing flash actually helps out a lot with that front firing camera. I guess that's it. So that was white. That's actually a white counter, and so it looks pretty tan though in the picture. And I think that had to do with the lighting as well. But so far, performance seems okay. I should show you real quick the Geekbench scores while I have it here. So the Geekbench score, right there it is. So 538 for the single core and 1500 or right around 1500 for the quad core or multi-core score. So I'm going to show you just kind of in comparison to a phone like this one. This is, again, the X4. And this one, I would say performance-wise, and you can see that screen difference again here. Both of them are all the way up in brightness. And anyway, so in terms of performance, you do actually notice that difference. It's really strange. I usually don't notice a huge difference in gaming performance, but this phone definitely, this is, again, the Grand X4 from ZTE, definitely plays games like Hill Climb Racer 2 a little bit better. Same with Madden Mobile. Definitely performs better on this phone. If you're going to get the Blu Life Max right now, I'm going to say if you're only going to play like games like Candy Crush or something like that doesn't have any kind of like graphic intensive, I guess, elements to the game, because otherwise you will definitely start to feel some lag. But in terms of like opening apps and things like that, that all seems pretty good. And scrolling around through websites, that's fine. But it's when you get into graphic intensive games, it really starts to show the fact that it's a budget phone. So anyways, if you have any questions about the Blu Life Max, go ahead and leave those down in the comment section. It's a budget-friendly phone with a big battery and a fingerprint sensor. Those are definitely the selling points of this phone. But anyways, if you have any questions, like I said, leave them down in the comment section. Please subscribe to this channel for more content. I like to, compare some of these budget phones, and got some versus videos coming up soon. Sorry, it's getting late for me, guys. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.